It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Barbershop Jay. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. As always, we'd like to remind you that the shop, of course, is being brought to you by none other than the fine folks over at Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. You can look them up on Facebook at RDM Detroit, or you can slide on over to the website. That's rocketdigital.net, ROCKIT digital.net. And you make sure when you're there, while you're there, you tell them the BSJ sent you. Joining me on the P program today is none other than my cat from the NYC, aka Rucker Park, Brother Rich. Yeah. Oh, here, dude, baby. What's happening?
As always, I'm honored to be on the platform with you. I know. How's the weather in Dallas? I heard you all are having a heat wave. I hope everyone is well. I hope the family's okay.
I already knew that you. I knew it was coming. You just love the buttons. It's all good. And on the other side of the ledger, yeah, we got my man from up north, Joey James, aka Double J.
There he is.
I tell the people what you say. Yeah, yeah, you can get one too. Yeah, just for the circle. Yeah. Yeah.
To be or not to be? That is the question.
Is the question.
Oh man, save with this Sigmund Freud. And then last but not least, you know what I'm saying? Don't talk to me like a child. I played Hamlet at Cambridge. Excuse me. What's the motivation? Anyway, last but not least, we got my man, creator of the Value of Self podcast, the one and only Leon Brown, aka LB. What it do, baby? You're not gonna speak. Oh, it's all good. You say Herschel Walker. Touchdown.
Wow.
Touchdown.
I saw you.
No.
You're gonna set me up like that to come in. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for having me on the show. And Billy J, that's just okay.
Yeah. All right, well, let's kick things off. Here's how we're going to do this P program today, you understand? Now, look, we all know that if you do a sports talk show, really, who's playing the Jeopardy music in the background? Seriously? Now is not the time. There's an industry standard of sorts. Most sports talk shows have some sort of question and answer period. They ask their panelists, fact or fiction, fair or foul, agree or disagree, and so on and so forth. And we, of course, added our own. And actually, this comes from another coworker of mine, RB. Yeah, I'll give him a
shout out to RB.
Yeah,
shout out
RB.
Yeah, RB. He this idea was born from him, actually. Because I said we definitely got to add our own sort of, question and ask the panelists and so on and so forth. And I've been going back and forth with what I'm gonna call it, what I'm gonna name it. I always try to come up with something a little catchy, something a little different. And when he would say, he and I talking sports, he would say absolutely or absolutely not. But it's the way he said it, it just stuck with me. I said, man, I got to do something with that. So without further ado, welcome to today's version of absolutely or absolutely not. But here's the catch to our absolutely not, or our version of fact or fiction, and so on and so forth. I will ask a series of questions to all my panelists here today. And they have 3 minutes to give a response, a detailed but brief response. Yeah, 3 minutes. Yeah, absolutely. 3 minutes you have to give the response to the question asked. If you go over your 3 minutes, you'll hear this sound. And then you'll be thus after that kicked off the show on hiatus, suspension, or whatever you want to call it for 7 months. You know what I'm saying? The term and terminology, which it takes for a hurricane to what happened?
7 months
vacation.
We're doing this early, and I just want to apologize to the people out there. If you see me bumping, moving my screen, moving around, it's because my hat just keeps hitting my what do you call this thing? Arm bar thing, whatever you call it here. That my microphone is on. Boom arm. I'll give myself a button. Yes. Hey, all right. Yeah, I get the gray button. And it's over. All right. So this first question up, or should I say this first item up for bid? We'll start with, of course, Mr. Frick. If Frack will come to you next, Brother Rich, and we ask this question.
This is terrible.
Will the Vegas Knights, the Las Vegas Knights, or should I say the Las Vegas Golden Knights, win a NHL championship before the Dallas Cowboys win another Super Bowl? Yay! Yay!
Absolutely.
Wow.
That's an absolutely.
Wow.
That's an absolutely. And absolutely. And here's the issue. Here's the issue
You don't say you don't even
right
need
now.
to explain that, huh?
No. Here's the issue we're facing right now. We're facing the fact that the facts are on the table that the Dallas Cowboys are the most overrated football team in the history of football. Certainly in the last 25 years, they're overrated. We know this for a fact.
Oh, wow.
That we still have Kansas City. We still have the Cleveland Browns, our favorite team going into this season. We still have many other teams that are formidable in terms before we even begin to discuss the Dallas Cowboys. Because here we are caught up in Cowboys hysteria. One thing we know about this game called football players don't get better as they get older. They typically get worse, in particular running backs. So all that we're hearing now, this is a fact. So all that we're hearing now about—
Is that a shot towards the host?
No.
Is that a shot towards— Oh, no, that wasn't subtle.
Unless you're— are you a football player, sir? We were talking about football players. Individuals themselves can get better with age, but football players, unfortunately, that's not a benefit. That's not a benefit going term. You don't have a long-term benefit playing football. So we're hearing a lot of talk about this team, but it's the same team from last year, and we know how unpredictable football is, the kind of injuries. We don't know what we're coming back with this year. So the idea that the Dallas Cowboys are somehow positioned to win some title in the very near future eludes me and us. But in fact,
That's it. That's it. I'm trying to tell you, I'm hitting buttons today, baby. I'm hitting buttons, and just in case y'all forgot. Yes. Double J, it's on you. Will the Vegas Golden Knights— whose phone is playing the ice cream song?
Well, I don't know.
Somebody's phone is playing the ice cream song in the background. Seriously? That's what we're doing here now? Okay.
I'll take one of those
ice creams. Yeah. Blow pops. Yeah. Whatever the case may be. Double J, will the Las Vegas Golden Knights win an NHL championship before the Dallas Cowboys win another Super Bowl?
Timing is everything. Windows are certainly.
You were supposed to say absolutely or absolutely not. My God, man, get with the program. You want to try that again? No. All right.
No. Yeah.
Okay. No. I mean, you might as well.
That's
go
how you know
now.
we're live here, folks. All right.
Yeah. Exactly.
Simple directions.
Yeah.
It's piling on today.
Yes, it is.
We have to take a shower after this one.
Yeah, please do. P.U. Go ahead. What were you saying now?
So I'm going to go absolutely not. And the reason for that is that window. I believe the window of opportunity in the NFL is actually opening for the Dallas Cowboys. I believe that window of opportunity is closing for the Vegas Golden Knights. They've been knocking on the door. What is that?
Since
Axl
they've been in
Rose.
the league 4 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have yet to
5 years.
get over the proverbial schneid, if you will. Meanwhile, Dallas was roughly knocking on the doorstep prior to Dak Prescott's injury. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Somebody. You got a Cowboys fan in your household.
I'm going offline.
You didn't tell us. Yes. Who's the Cowboy fan in the background? No. Yes, that's right. Although I'm not a Cowboy fan, apparently I've been getting lambasted and blasted by an undercover Cowboy fan. Brother Rich, don't run now. Come on back over here. Yes, Button City. Yes, the Cowboys. Yes. Is that the missus? Oh,
no,
yes.
No, thank goodness.
It's not
Otherwise,
no, it's
there
not.
Would be it would have been a.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad she did. Whoever that is, I'm so glad they did that. Yes, they get another round of applause. Oh, and by the way, your 3 minutes are up. Leon, LB, we're coming to you
Unbelievable.
with the same question, of course. Will the Vegas Knights, the NHL's Vegas Knights, see how they do? See how they do when I get them? They all run away. Three blind mice. Yes, will the Vegas Golden Knights
Oh wow.
win an NHL championship before the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh man, this pains me to say this. God, this pains me to say this, but absolutely not.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you. Thank you.
God,
Thank you.
Don't gloat. That don't gloat. That's just the latter of the two. I mean, the Cowboys,
like
even though they're pretty much. They're technically, as Brother Rich say, America's team, but they ain't did nothing in 25 years. But the way Jerry Jones is, how much of a riverboat gambler he is, he gonna put something together sooner or later. Probably later, more on the later side. But you gotta give me a time frame, like 5 years, 10 years. Okay, you talking about within the next 5 years?
Nah, it don't seem
it's
to be
looking good for both of them. But
the Las Vegas Knights, they put together a expansion team and competed. An expansion team.
I know.
Yes.
The Cowboys have not
I know, Brother Rich.
anything in 25 years. What is you all doing here? Y'all been to Miami? This is terrible. The Cowboys have not sniffed nothing in 25 years.
What does and Double J, we see your picture, you're laughing. I can see. What does Miami
God, it pains me to say that.
Yeah.
The Cowboys have not sniffed nothing in 25 years. Nothing, not even close.
Yeah, that got paid though. Yes,
but I'm happy he got his money. But we pushed for him to get his money. Yes,
yeah,
we're happy that he got
Dallas Cowboys. Yeah,
we're talking about as a team. Come on now.
All right, Richard A. Smith, I hear you.
Yeah, I had an armed assailant that had forced me to say my answers.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Double J, we come to you with our next question. Will the proposed college football 12-team playoff, wasn't expecting that format, ever come to fruition?
The playoff, absolutely, will come to fruition.
Oh, okay.
We've talked about this NCAA mafia, and they, as Booger McFarland, who's generally wrong with everything he says.
That's what you say. Snot knows who?
Yeah,
Snotty Boy Jackson. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So
sorry.
As he pointed out, that the more games, the more opportunity there is for injury. The obvious proponents. However, if they're going to give something away, which we've now forced their hand, they have to start paying these players. They're going to make them, quote unquote, earn it, or at least recoup whatever that figure is that they're going to be giving out or sacrificing. And that's going to come by way of more teams, more games, and more revenue.
Pretty good there. You finished in under your 3 minutes. Yeah, I know you was watching that clicker and the countdown ticker.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. LB, we come to you next. Will the proposed college football 12-team playoff format ever come to fruition, in your opinion?
Absolutely. For one reason and one reason only. Money.
Okay.
It's all about money.
Yeah,
they don't care about these kids' health. But they do give the players more of a leeway to go get compensated for their efforts. But it's all about money. The more people watching the game, the more games being played, the more money gonna get spent. That's what it's all about. So of course they're gonna find a way to get it put into play. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? And what's interesting, I can't think of the gentleman's name, and it's not because my senility is kicking in. It's just because I meant to have it in front of me and I forgot to have that. So I guess my senility is kicking in. I said all that to say nothing, I guess. But anyway, I heard mentioned that I don't know if he's the president of the American Athletic Conference. Anyway, he's connected with UCF or whatever. UCF, the Golden Knights here for the last few years or so have been up in arms about, how come our record is 13-0 or 12-1 or whatever it is, and we don't get a shot, at the big dance or whatnot, And he said something, I thought this gentleman, what's his name? Starts with an A. But anyway, he said something I thought was very, very poignant or on point. He said, for all those people out there who's saying that we shouldn't have a 12 team, it should stay the way it is. We should never had a 4. He said, listen, it ain't got nothing to do about the X, Y, and Z's of missing the bowl games and whatnot. He said the NCAA tournament, when it comes to basketball, how many teams are in the tournament? All vying for one title. He said, so why can't we have a playoff? You know what I mean? He said probably should go to 16 teams, to tell you the truth. He said, so all of the naysayers about why it shouldn't, he said they're just being greedy and so on and so forth. He said, spread the wealth. And I'm in agreement with you and with him. So we'll give you the button on that one. I'm glad you were mindful of the time. It's this other guy right here, Mr. Frack himself. We come to you.
This is terrible.
Yes.
This is
Will the
horrible.
proposed college football 12-team playoff format ever come to fruition, Brother Rick?
Absolutely, it's here already. The fact that it's even been discussed means it's already here. However, it's too little, too late. The NCAA has never had a good idea in the last 20 years. This is another idea that's too little, too late, but they're going to take advantage of the environment. And as everyone else has said, you pointed out to us just now, it's about money, and that's it.
That was Brother Leon. But yes, that's the bottom line. Isn't that always seemed to be the case, to be the bottom line? Yeah. Okay, and Mr. Leon Brown.
Exactly.
Bad Mr. Brown. We come to you with this next question. Should the Suns, Monty Williams, have won Coach of the Year over Tom Thibodeau? Of course, for the New York Knicks.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Explain
I mean, it don't hurt adding a CP3 to that, a veteran point guard who has previously played for Monty Williams, so they have already had a rapport. So once he had Prince Paul here, the locker room was nothing. So he had the young wolves around him who would learn, but when you got a kind of structure in place where a coach who already have won, even though not a championship, but he already have won, then you got a point guard who's a Hall of Fame point guard. All you got to do is receive and just go forward. So absolutely, I think he should have got him.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, didn't the Suns have a better overall record than the
They
Knicks
did.
Anyway?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so. They did. They absolutely did. They were first or second in the West or something like that, behind Utah or something or another.
Yep.
Second.
Or it was them in Utah or whatnot. I mean, don't get me wrong. We are gonna definitely revisit a show that we did on our audio version in regards to teams who play well and make their respective leagues seem better when that said team is playing well. And I think the Knicks this year were one of those type of teams. Basketball, the NBA is better off, I think, when the Knicks are doing well. I know it's been 157 years, but I just think the Knicks are one of those teams. So they were getting more shine actually than the Brooklyn Nets, at one point or not. So, kudos to the Knicks. But when it comes to the coach of the year, Tom Thibodeau already won it. So why you couldn't give it to Monty Williams, who I think was more deserving, and the resume this year or the accolades or whatever, the acumen this year shows that he should have gotten it. I don't know why he didn't get it, but we know this is the NBA, the same NBA that sent Chris Paul to the. Oh, I'm sorry, I digress. Double J, should the Suns head coach Monty Williams have won Coach of the Year over Tom Thibodeau?
Absolutely not.
Oh my gosh. Please do tell.
When you add a bona fide superstar like Chris Paul to an arsenal of young budding talent, such as perennial superstar and Devin Booker, key pieces like DeAndre Ayton and amongst others, it's not the same versus a cellar dweller that was the New York Knicks that was becoming the butt of all jokes. That Knicks team and franchise basically rose like a phoenix out of the ashes.
Oh, pun
that
intended,
quickly.
huh? Yeah, you didn't think I was gonna catch that because I didn't have but 2 hours of sleep? Absolutely not. Oh, I'm sorry. What were you saying? But you know what, though? But no, let me interject right quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me get a 20. I need a 20. You say that about Chris Paul and Monty Williams, and it's a fair point. But I'm going to use these two guys some years ago, many, many years ago, as an example to counteract your fair point. Shaq and Kobe, when with Dale Harris, did exactly or did what when it came to? Oh, that doesn't fit here because
No.
why not? You saying Monty Williams because of Chris Paul? He added a superstar in the Devin Booker, so But you're saying because the Knicks and Tom Thibodeau didn't have what Monty Williams had, therefore, no. In other words, I'm saying you can have superstars and it still not work.
Well,
you still
yeah,
No?
absolutely. There's no guarantees there, but
Oh,
at the
okay.
same time, that's not the same roster. It's not even remotely close. And the type of job that was ultimately performed by the Knicks was far more impressive. I would say that Phoenix ultimately had some expectations for a change rather than in the case of the Knicks, you weren't sure what you were going to get because let's face it,
That's
Tibbs'
fair.
record
That's fair.
wasn't always
That's fair.
consistent with that. He wasn't viewed as some savior. You know, he had success in Chicago, went to Minnesota with arguably a lot of the same pieces. I think Taj Gibson was still on that roster in New York. So, you know, again, Derrick Rose, who's, you know, again, in his 40s at this point, in the Bionic Man, no less. You know, he's getting MVP votes. No one was expecting that. And again, it didn't work in Minnesota with arguably, you know, at least 20% of the roster being the same. So absolutely not. There was no way that we could have anticipated Julius Randle to reach the heights that he ultimately seen this year. And I believe will be consistent moving forward. I especially the way I'm sure it bothered him, the way that they ultimately fell short.
Woo, boy, you almost beat the buzzer. That's what we're going to have to call this segment. Beat the buzzer. That's what we're going to call it. Yeah, baby. Y'all heard it right here first on the Shop Report. Brother Rich, we come to you. Should Sun head coach Monty Williams have won Coach of the Year over Tom Thibodeau?
Absolutely not. I echo every single thing Double J said, and I only
So y'all
add
playing
this.
freaking frack today for real? Is that what we doing here?
I knew that was going to get. I knew that was going to come up, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But I echo every sentiment he said, and I'll only add this. Remember, Thibodeau was playing in a market that is the hardest market to be in. The Knicks were, in fact, and are, in fact, the franchise in the NBA in terms of media market, attention, difficulty, attention deficit disorder, all of the other attendant difficulties of being a Knicks coach, all that had gone on with that franchise, people looking for the resurrection over the last 50 years, the Knicks franchise has been looking for that. Thibodeau proved to us that he can coach up talent. He may not be able to coach talent to the next level, but he can certainly get the best out of players by his system. And Thibodeau was the perfect example of what a real good coach in the NBA can do. Absolutely, Thibodeau proved to us he was, in fact, the coach of the year.
You know, I don't like your attitude.
Because Monty Williams is a fantastic coach, but he's coaching a squad. They're a squad. Them boys are loaded.
They are.
The
They
Knicks
are nice.
overachieved, and Atlanta showed you the Knicks overachieved because when they came to playoff basketball, they were no match for a real talented team. The Knicks overachieved, and it was all purely attributable to Tom Thibodeau. Fact.
And speaking of no match, Trae Young looked like a deer in headlights after the Sixers went up 2-1.
Yes.
But I'm telling you right now, Embiid is playing like a true enough number 5. He is punishing Capella.
Absolutely fact.
You know what I'm saying? And every time, and see, people probably don't.
Yeah,
and I know we're not really talking.
He's playing nasty.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. I know this is not the basketball show today, y'all, but I do got to do a little sidebar here. And people might not notice the little subtleties. But every time Embiid like get a dunk and Capella right there, he give him a little nudge and a look at him like, you can't.
Right. He let him know. He let him know.
Yeah, he let him know. Like Shaq said about barbecue chicken. Man, you ain't got no business in the house with me, boy.
Barbecue chicken alert.
And again, this is proving this is that old time basketball, playoff basketball that these teams are really going at it here. Yeah.
The playoffs overall have been kind of a breath of fresh air. To me, they have been.
That's a high compliment coming from you. That's a very high compliment coming from you.
Yeah. Moving on, should I say? My gosh, brother Rich, since you had the last word and gotta always have the last word, seeing how you was a star at Rucker Park, them days is over with, man. We can reminisce, you know what I'm saying, over a Pepsi or something. You know what I'm saying? Well, come on, man, just because you dropped 40 at the Rucker, man, nobody's quiet. You know what I'm saying? And the man who arguably was,
but you had
the second largest crowd.
But you had Cristal in the boot with Jerry Jones up in Dallas, at the stadium. So I mean,
yeah, that's another one. Yeah, just for that. This next question, again, brother Rich, we'll come to you here. We're starting with you, should I say? Is Mark Jackson the next Pacers head coach?
Absolutely not. Mark Jackson has obviously been whiteballed from the NBA. It's quite clear that he's been whiteballed from the NBA.
Nice choice of words. Yeah,
he's never going to be given a serious look. See, because if there's been so many jobs. Here's Mark Jackson that during the Golden State era run where they were winning titles, everyone knew that here's a man sitting on the sideline that put that team together, and he never got a head coaching job. So it's quite clear that he's been resigned to the sideline, and others will move forward.
Good stuff. Double J, is Mark Jackson the next Pacers head coach, or should I say next head coach of the Indiana Pacers?
Absolutely not. To Brother Rich's point, he has been whiteballed, and he has a lot of.
This is necessary. This is necessary. Lee, you don't understand. These two.
This is terrible.
Unbelievable.
This is terrible. This is unbelievable.
These two never.
This is so unbelievable.
If ever.
This is terrible.
My buddy.
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Oh, okay. These two rarely, if ever, disagree. I'm gonna have to double down on that because I'm frick and he's frack. You know what I'm saying? Playing on, running on back.
Terrible.
You know what I'm saying? Hey. I'm sorry, Double J. Were you saying something? Your 3 minutes are up, but go ahead. Keep finished. Yeah. Go ahead.
He's got to apologize to a few folks before he gets a sniff at this stuff, and there's a laundry list of opportunities for a lot of others that have put in the time or somehow skipped the line, which seems to be all too convenient and reoccurring.
Yeah, I'm just for the NBA to be so hell bent on diversity and inclusion. For the life of me, I can't understand the retread factor and why it's at 100. Okay, you mean tell me?
Dan Tony says he wants one of these jobs. This is what we have now.
Yeah. Here we go. Yeah. And another Van Gundy.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
Sure.
Another Van Gundy.
Yeah. Right. But I'm sure the NBA, I thought they would have people in place who get enough more money than we do doing this. They could find somebody new, you know what I mean, or worthy of one of these head coaching spots or whatnot. But retread city. LB, is Mark Jackson the next head coach of the Indiana Pacers?
I'm gonna have to triple down. Absolutely not. For the exact reasons they named. He's been whiteballed. It's the truth. I mean,
I know
that man know this game.
You the button so I can make the trifecta. All of y'all got the button. Go ahead.
It.
Okay.
But it's like the points they made was obvious. I mean, he been whiteballed. I mean, he got to kiss some butt cheeks that he ain't gonna want to kiss to get back to where he want to be. But on the flip side of that, how
literally
for us 90s, you know what I mean, basketball era fans, how nostalgic would that be for Mark Jackson to go back and coach Indiana?
Fact.
That's saying that would be nostalgia, but but they won't let him do that though.
Yeah, that's
so
not
absolutely not.
That's not the kind of nostalgia the NBA is looking for. But that's really the kind of why I put this question out here, because that thought did come to mind when I was putting together the show notes for today. All right, Double J, this next question we'll start with you. Should Major League Baseball allow pictures, Lord have. I mean, we can never get through a broadcast where I have to give myself one, okay? Fair exchange, ain't no robbery. I said pictures. Did I really say that? Like photographs? Wow, okay. Senility, all minds. Thank you for that. Should MLB allow pitchers to doctor the ball and accused steroid users into the hall. Imagine that. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, but
Absolutely not. And this is very simple. They're both
Why?
cheating.
oh, cut it out.
I mean, why are we bending
whole
rules
world
now?
cheats.
You know, should we use a what, metal bats next?
Yes.
Wiffle balls? What are we doing here? I thought this was America's pastime. Arguably one of the most stingiest groups to change anything.
Have you
And
not
now
seen
we
the
just
Little
want
League
to
World Series?
openly.
Have you
Well,
not
yeah,
seen the
I'm
Little League World
12.
Series?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I'm working on my accent here, and I'm going to play as well. So,
Okay.
you know, again, ultimately,
Go get him, Tiger.
yeah, hey, you know, one life to live, right? No, but nevertheless, the harsh reality is to sit there and I'm the Yankees pitcher that was up there. That when they questioned him, it was just the most awkward, 3 minutes in response that I've heard in quite some time about, the reality that there was this like almost the secret brotherhood of, like a book. It reminded me of the goofy scene out of American Pie, and not that scene, but again,
Yeah.
these guys are legally cheating and have been for a while. The game and the league itself had put some rules in place that were already giving them a competitive advantage. Again, this is a sport that if you can hit the ball 33% of the time, you may have a statue outside of your, clubs or, field or stadium and be enshrined. So to sit there and say, hey, let's keep making this harder, which means keep making the game. It may speed up the game, which then benefits the league because that's something they've been trying to do for quite some time. But at the same time, from a fan's standpoint, which is ultimately whose butts are in the seats and who's paying for the suites, they're going to be less enthused about pitchers' duels and pine tar and stick-em and and spider whatever what is it, the spider something
attack.
Spider attack. Yeah.
and it's going to give me a heart attack that we have to keep. This stuff keeps reoccurring with that particular sport.
You get that anyway. And let me tell you something. They should allow it. Absolutely, they should. Because Angel Hernandez, if Major League Baseball can keep trotting out umpires like Angel Hernandez, who blowing calls because he said he couldn't see the fireflies because the light bulb was in his eye, and somebody gave him some Twizzlers or whatever else his excuse was, then why not allow all the rest of it? Brother Rich, we come to you. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, hold on to your chair. Hold on to your chair, Barbershop, because I'm about to, guess what? Agree with you. They should have.
What happened?
Here's why.
Yes.
Here's why.
Oh, yes, that's right. Be gone.
Here's why.
Be gone, Double J.
Here's why. You called it, and we recognize it. It's called America's pastime. Baseball is kind of like America in that it's very hypocritical. In the history of the game, everybody has always cheated. They cheat in baseball. Everybody has been going on pine tar, fixed games, the
Black Sox scandal.
But here's the thing in baseball though, it's very American in this way. You're supposed to cheat, but you're not supposed to get caught. So what you and I are advocating for is get rid of the hypocrisy in the game. Everybody knows you're cheating. Here's why we know that baseball is a game rooted in cheating and hypocrisy. Because it's been proven, it's been documented. We know, everyone knows that the Houston Astros cheated for the entire year. They were allowed and are allowed to keep their World Series. If you are a sport, but here are men who can't go into the Hall of Fame because they cheated. But you allow a championship to stand in your sport where the entire organization was in on cheating. But you rewarded it because the owner and paid some money. And the game is rooted in hypocrisy, just like America.
Yeah, that was a good
Get
one.
rid of the hypocrisy.
I'll give you the button. Yeah, I'm with you on that too. You know, if you can allow some of it, don't be selective. That's like people talking about they selective and objective at the same time.
Don't be selective. What is that, a TikTok thing you got there?
No, that's actually my saying. I've been saying that. Oh wow, seriously? Yeah. And last but not least, my man LB on the P program today. Should Major League Baseball allow pitchers? Did I say pitchers again? Dag nabbit. Pitchers to doctor the ball. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
That's the only button I
Oh,
give.
Alexa,
Applause,
play Def
applause.
Leppard photograph.
Should Major League Baseball allow pitchers to doctor the baseball and of course allow accused steroid users into the hall? Your thoughts?
Absolutely.
What?
Absolutely.
You agree with me
like,
too?
Like Brother Rich says,
Oh man,
I
this
agree
is
with Brother
unbelievable.
Rich, but you just be a part of that too.
Oh, okay.
But-
I'm just alone. Oh, really? Oh, so it's
But it goes to both of your
now.
points, though. It goes to both of your points, though. With the hypocrisy,
Okay.
here you go. With the hypocrisy of it all, it's cheating been going on since the beginning of baseball,
Right.
one way
Yeah.
or another. And to sit up and deny players out of the Hall of Fame because of quote unquote steroid use, but to see like no, how much money did they influence in this game, how much of an impact they had on the game, just for the fact that they took a little pick me up or whatever you want to call it.
Fact.
Right.
They still was producing before them. Like even look at Barry
Fact.
Bonds, he was producing
Fact.
way before.
Fact.
He was MVP
Yeah,
before the
right,
steroids.
Right.
So
In
it just gave
Pittsburgh,
players
him
a
and
better
Bobby
and it,
Bonilla.
Fact.
absolutely.
And
But the title in
James White.
Pittsburgh with that.
Fact.
Yeah.
Right. Mark McGuire was on that before St. Louis. So
Fact.
it's like,
Fact.
why deny them that? But if then pitchers that puts up on the ball for years. They just ain't been getting caught with it.
And if you
Now-
talk to baseball people, they'll tell you steroids didn't help them hit
Yeah.
the ball. It just helped them hit the ball further. Your eye
Farther.
hand coordination, it just helped them hit the ball harder.
It had
That's
nothing to
all
do with
did.
it, right.
It had nothing to do with your ability to hit the ball. It don't help you hit the ball.
But
Right.
they're using that as an excuse.
Right.
But like I said, you know.
So
I-
wait. But so what are we suggesting here? That we just have the lawless sport? Don't get me wrong. I believe it would be more entertaining. I don't
think
know
it's
who would win out
lawlessness.
here.
I don't think it's lawlessness, Double J. It's not lawlessness. Here's why it's not lawlessness. Because if the hitter knows that the pitcher knows that the hitter has taken whatever he's taken to help him be strong today, right? And that's his advantage. And the pitcher gets to legally take whatever advantage. Now, all this is a ball, the same mechanics, a ball, a baseball bat, two individuals. And I get to, if I put a little something on the ball and it causes it to spin a little better, and you got to have a little better hand-eye coordination. But you know, if I connect with this ball, I'm gonna hit it further. Well, if that's the game, then that's the game. Because here's the thing, Double J. If you're saying nobody can do anything, then here's how do you say, can I take vitamins? Because that's where this starts, you know, in sports. A person says, because that's how a lot of them get out of when they pass their urinalysis, when they
Yeah.
fail their urinalysis, they'll say, well,
Yeah.
I went to the store and I took a vitamin and I didn't know it had this
Supplements,
trace chemical. Yeah, they'll say,
Yeah.
I took a supplement because you're asking these people to perform extraordinary feats. If anybody thinks, and I don't want to get in trouble with our host, but if anybody thinks that LeBron can perform at that level without taking something to keep him going and keep him doing that kind of physical exertion on his body for 18 years, that's impossible. No matter how physically gifted the individual is,
Yeah, I'm
you
in
have to
agreement
take
with that,
something
actually.
to support you to do that. Because you're asking me to give my 100% every night. No human being can do that without a little bit of support.
But
hold on, Double
here's
J.
the difference, though. It's still not a fair fight, and this is why. Because there's nothing at that point. There's nothing preventing those same pitchers from taking the same supplements at that point. In addition to that pine tar, so unless or spider track, whatever it is, now it's 2-1 here. So
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
and you're already, I believe the odds are already in favor for the pitchers, just statistically speaking, when it comes to just throwing and hand-eye coordination. So if you're talking about now, you're getting guys throwing 100 miles an hour.
But see, he didn't ask us. That's not the question he's asking us. He's not asking us the semantics of it.
Right,
We're just talking about the principality of the principle. Of
Right.
saying,
I'm just saying,
if
should it
you
be allowed?
allowing cheating in your game, if the management,
That's what I'm
if
saying.
the ownership, if the league itself allows a team to cheat for the entire year,
Then you gotta
why
allow
can't I?
cheating.
Why you gotta allow
all the way
cheating
across
in
the
your
board.
sport?
All the way across the board.
Because everybody knows you've been cheating in baseball. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that Babe Ruth did something and this one did something. Everybody knows
Yeah.
this, but what we do is we allow it with a wink and a nod. It's like the American justice system where if I got money, I can do a crime, but if I got money, I can pay to get away with my crime.
Yeah, my
but the
chances
poor
of getting
person,
off, right.
they're gonna go to prison for what I
Yeah.
did worse.
But it doesn't
Everybody, you
change
can
the
get
fact
elected
that it
to
was a crime
it doesn't
committed.
take. That's exactly
You see
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying? It
You got
doesn't change
people
the fact that
running
it
for
was a crime
office.
committed.
You got people elected president of this country who said, I smoke marijuana and laugh about it. But you got young men and women who've lost their careers and they lost their college scholarships
Yeah.
and lost their professional lives for that.
Yeah.
That wasn't a joke to
Yeah.
them. But you say that's
Yeah.
justice because their parents could afford it and this person's father couldn't afford to get them out of that little jam. That's not, if we're going to
Now,
have a
and you know what?
game like that, if that's the game, if the game is you cheat, but as long as you get away with it, then what we're saying, he asked the question, should we just allow cheating? Sure, just don't get
should
caught.
you, right. Yeah, and see here, and here's and but all points are good points. But here's the thing: you can take if the pitcher does something to the ball, he can make it hit the corners better and whatever it is. And if a batter takes something or whatever it is, yeah, he can hit the ball farther. But either way it goes, whatever is done to the ball or whatever the player does to himself or whatnot, it does not. Neither cheating element changes hand-eye coordination. You
Fact.
cannot manufacture hand-eye coordination. You still got to have hand-eye coordination. You know what I'm
Fact.
saying?
Yeah.
No matter how much tacky
Right.
stuff is on the ball, it might slice and cut, an inch or two more off the plate this way, or a guy might hit it 580 feet, whereas before he was hitting it 415 down the left field line. But you still got to be able to have the hand-eye coordination and make contact when that sucker
Fact.
is getting there. You still
Fact.
got to. Nothing you can do about that.
You gotta
know what I
have
mean? But
it.
you got to have hand-eye coordination. You know what I mean? And again, both points were good points, but I say you can't be objective and selective simultaneously. If you're not going to say if you're going to allow, but to your point, Brother Rich, and why I mentioned Arnold Rothstein for years, ever
Facts.
since the Black Sox scandal, it was a wrap.
Yep.
It's been a wrap ever since then. They just got ways in which they disguise it. What did I tell you, Brother Rich, years ago when we was in a barbershop about basketball? I said, no sporting event is completely left up to chance. It's not.
Fact.
I'm telling you, it's just not. Now, in other words, they set the table, but the players still got a part to play. You know what I mean? They got to they got to come eat, so to speak. So there are some pure moments in sporting events, I think. You know what I mean? They be like, look, man, I got you here, but now you got to drive. You know what I mean? That type of deal. But yeah, man,
Facts.
come on, man. Yeah. Come on, man.
We saw that live with the Kobe and LeBron dolls.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, when they thought
Sacramento
who was
Kings.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Really? Did we go to Sacramento? Okay. Mr. LB, did you answer the question? Yeah, Leon did. That's my senility. That's why I have to ask y'all 10 times.
boy.
Did you answer the question? Yes, man, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all help me remember. You know what I'm saying? We are a team. Go, Miss Captain Planet, or whatever the case may be. This next question, and the final question for this is for this particular edition of the P-Rogram. Y'all got to excuse me. I only had 2 hours of sleep. Brother Rich, we will come with you. Yeah, we'll start with you again on this. Since how you being such a studious young man today. My gosh, Richard A. Smith is being nice.
Oh,
today.
look at
My
that.
goodness.
Look at that.
Wow.
Is women's softball college, okay, more popular than the WNBA? And here's why I asked that.
Absolute fact.
Absolute. Okay, well, shucks. Go right ahead
Absolute
then.
fact.
Absolute fact. Okay.
Here's why.
Because the Oklahoma women, they just won their fifth
But that's
national
exactly
championship.
right. That's
Okay,
exactly
gotcha.
my point.
Okay.
I have never sat down with the intention of watching a game, but every year I know who's playing and when they're playing and what's going on. And without being an ardent watcher of ESPN, the fact is the energy, the environment, the atmosphere on the social media platform that I prefer is Twitter. And you see a lot of activity surrounding that. And when you Get
Got you.
engaged with them. You see the level, the passion with which they play. When you do get a chance to watch the games, they're very, very excited. The young ladies go very, very hard. It's very fun to watch. Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to a young lady. I went and ordered a salad once from the Melt. It's a restaurant we have here. Excuse me for the free plug, but the salad was darn good. But I'll tell you, it was a young lady who waited on me, and she was, I guess, on the phone. I don't know what she was doing, but in other words, I could tell she was into sports. So I asked her, I said, "Do you play a sport?" She said, "Yeah, softball." And then I asked her, one thing I've always marveled at is how the women pitchers, how they pitch.
Underhand. Yes.
Underhand, but the wind up.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We used to have a team here in Ohio, in Akron. The
It's
Akron
beautiful.
Racers.
It's a beautiful
you,
thing.
It's
yeah,
very
you go
beautiful.
look them up. The Akron Racers were unbeatable. They owned it. You know what I mean? I don't care if they played teams from all over the place, and they was just going through. Them ladies was no joke. They used to actually practice at a field, maybe not even 10 minutes from where I lived at, an apartment at the time. But anyway, these ladies were good. But it's the wind up. I'm like, how you all don't have rotator cuff problems every year, all the time, every time is beyond me. Man, there's no way I wouldn't throw my shoulder out on multiple occasions just trying to do that. And then they speed. Oh, and then one last thing also I wanted to mention was we talk about the baseball and the hand-eye coordination thing. And by no means am I even suggesting that I'm a major league level at all, but just going to batting cages and
It's
having
hard
the
to throw
balls
baseball.
come at you 55 miles an hour.
Yes.
The
Yes.
hand-eye coordination, and
Is the
you
thing.
want to talk about, and I'm sore
Yes.
after about 20 pitches. You know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say?
Absolutely.
Oh, Double J, cut it out. Yeah. Cut it out, Double J. I saw y'all didn't catch that little snide remark. Where's the Dallas Cowboy fan? Yeah, put the hat on his head. Put the hat on his head. So yeah, I'm with you on that, brother Rich. But Double J, since you want the floor right now, we'll give you the floor. Is women's softball, college, of course, more popular than the WNBA?
Absolutely. And this is where you have to take.
Time is up. Leon, I'm sorry. What you say? I'm sorry, Double J. No, my fault.
You're a
My
terrible
fault.
person.
Unbelievable.
Why are you doing my man like that?
I'm sorry.
Man?
I'm sorry. No, my hands got a little, itchy trigger fingers. is
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying.
That's 2 hours
whoa.
of sleep.
Yeah, stay away from the buttons. Stay away from the buttons.
Falling
All
asleep at
right.
the wheel.
Yeah. Yes. No, not the buttons. Okay. What'd you say? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So again, absolutely. The reason for this is where the leagues themselves have to do some serious soul searching with how they're marketing the product. Part of it is when you.
That's what I thought. I thought it was always promotion.
Absolutely.
WNBA promotion. Go ahead.
It falls short. They promote the beginning of the season, and then you don't hear a word until it's their playoffs or their finals. And then for some reason, there seems to be a spike in ratings. How
Good
about
point.
that? So taking that a step further, though.
Hold that thought. Have you all seen the commercial for the WNBA?
I did.
And then at the end, they say, you all, the reason why we're
No, I
not as
haven't seen
popular, I guess that's the moral of it. They say the reason why we're not as popular is because y'all are not watching. Because we got everything the NBA got is what this commercial is suggesting. My God.
But see, that's the problem with them. That's the problem with them. You can't compete with the NBA. I don't want to watch the WNBA if I want to watch the NBA. They can't compete with the NBA. What they have to be is the WNBA. Be your own unique brand. And if they brand themselves properly, they have a branding problem. Just like Double J was saying, if they brand themselves properly, we're competing with the NBA, because that is off-putting in and of itself. If I want to watch basketball and you're telling me you're competing with with what I call real basketball, some of us call basketball at that level. Let me say that, the highest level.
Okay, got you.
That's the NBA.
You're saying, why are you asking us to choose?
Why are you asking us to choose? This is what I'm saying.
Right.
Tell me that the WNBA is a product that stands on itself, on its own. For instance, in Double J will know this, the MLS cannot compete with the European Soccer League. They can't compete with any European soccer league. They can't tell us that we should watch them.
That's a good point.
They have to celebrate themselves as a homegrown product and for what they are at the level that they are. The NBA is what it is. The NFL is what it is. You can't have a women's football league telling me, we come watch us if you want to see real football on Sunday. Don't worry about that thing over there. We are just as good as them. Who's going to watch that? But if you tell me that your product is good, for instance, you would be a better marketing person for the NBA. You've marketed the WNBA to me better than Double J has marketed it to me, because you are marketed on basketball. You are marketed on the brilliance of the players themselves. You're not marketing it on some of the things that the WNBA has done.
Right.
And the failure to take an honest assessment of that is what's failing them.
Yeah. Speaking of football, women's football, though, there is a league out there. That's all I'm.
Yeah, but we're not worried. But ain't nobody gonna watch
it.
But
you got season tickets.
We're sure you got tickets to it. Did
I say that out
the Miami
loud?
franchise? What's the Miami franchise?
Your time's up. Leon, LB, as I like to call him. Your time is up. Yes. Is women's softball, college, of course, more popular than the WNBA?
Absolutely. And for everything Brother Rich said, he took the words out of my mouth. I mean, because their marketing and promotion, the way they try to push the game down everybody's throat and make it competitive, and then try to shame you for not watching in their ads, it make you not want to watch. Versus college softball, which is organic, and you actually watch a game. Like, it's like I started watching it from the simple fact of I'll be scrolling through ESPN and I'll see something and it'll catch your attention. Then you let you know you put 3 innings in and you throw it to be entertained.
Right.
So,
good point.
And they didn't force it down your throat. People picked it up organically. They wasn't shoved down your throat, or they wasn't shamed for not watching. If you want to watch, cool. You don't, cool. But we got our own little lane here, and that's where the WNBA failed, and hence why this stuff was going down, because it's a competition. And like, look, you support the NBA, so come support us. Like, how about we support basketball?
Good point.
We support basketball. It shouldn't be a versus a who.
Yeah.
And in fact, you're trying to make people ashamed because they're not watching. No, they're not watching because you're trying to shame them. Let people just watch basketball. Basketball has its own language. People recognize that.
That's
good basketball. If it's male,
do you
female,
see high
whatever.
school shaming us to watch their game? They're not add-ons to watch high school basketball. Why we ain't watching little kiddie basketball? Well, let's go all watch junior high school basketball. If it's about basketball, the fact is, if I'm going to watch basketball, don't tell me what I have to watch. When there's somebody really exciting at the high school level, everybody want to go to that's why you show footage on Twitter, on all social media platforms, that Drake and LeBron and J.R. Smith went to a high school basketball game, because something is going on at the gym that people want to be a part of. Make the WNBA the game that people want to go see. Man, something going on in that gym I want to go see. Don't tell me I got to go see it.
It's cooking over there, right.
Yeah,
but keep this in mind too here, that when you think of, as you pointed out, Barbershop Jay, in your example with the girl, she played softball. There's also a lot of young ladies that are playing soccer as well, and it's translating with how dominant our teams are. And then as far as like even the women's soccer league, the NWSL, that has grown immensely as well. So the WNBA isn't merely just limited to the fact that there's not enough young ladies playing the sport. It's a combination and a culmination of the fact that they're not investing in the marketing. They're not investing enough in the grassroots. There's in that the marketing messages are also wrong, because they're trying to target NBA fans and not the ladies that are already tuning in to other sports.
Right. That's a good point, Double J. I have to give you the button. Now y'all finished this edition pretty much strong. But again, it's always one for good measure, fellas. As always, that was some good stuff. It absolutely was. And that concludes this edition on the program of Absolutely or Absolutely Not. I'm glad you all could join me today. And on that note, it's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. Don't forget to check us out right here on StreamYard Network. That's right. Every Sunday at 7 p.m. or when my two esteemed co-hosts, Freaking Frack, and whoever our special guest is, decided they might want to show up. Yes, absolutely. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast, or get your streaming live or otherwise, as well as the shop's Facebook fan page. And if that don't work, please Google it. For my mans, Be Rich, Double J, and LB, and all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay, and you've been listening to the Shop Report. And remember, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.
Go Browns.